Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
It's time to get your hockey fix. This is Brave the Wild with your host, Paladino Joey, the leader of Minnesota Wild Hockey, here on thesportstuff.com. Hello again, hockey fans. Are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey? Well, we're going to hopefully get Neil Nate Dogg Thiesing back on the show soon. Very soon, I got to think. I got to think it's going to be within the next show or two. So do apologize, haven't had him on the last, it's been a while now, last couple months. And apologize, I wasn't available last week. The schedule just got too tight. I was recording other shows because co-hosts are only available on that day, that type of thing, especially certain co-hosts that are extremely tough to reach. So just thought I was mentioning that. And it's been a really crummy stretch. Really, the whole month of March has been awful for the Wild, with the exception of one regulation victory over the New York Rangers. Okay, yeah, we beat the Calgary Flames. Okay, so there's 2 regulation victories in March. And, well, we're already more than halfway through the month. Yeah, this is getting pretty frustrating. I'm going to probably brush things a little bit more with a broad stroke on this show, but I will at least mention the scores along the way, obviously, and talk about the games a little bit along the way, but in general, this team went from a team that was winning games, winning close games, winning shootouts, to a team that's losing games and losing close games, losing shootouts. They haven't won a shootout in, I don't even remember now. It's been a while. I'm beyond frustrated right now with the shootout losses and the lack of clutch play and the horrible mistakes along the way. Quite frankly, I'm kind of getting pissed off. Quite frankly. The Wild started out the month nicely. Monday, March the 3rd, they beat the Calgary Flames 3-2. Nice win. The top line, of course, doing what they do best. Score goals. That's what they're here for. All that good stuff. That being Granlund and Pominville and Parise just getting the job done, and that's all we want. It was a nice little win for the Wild. I was very happy, felt very confident in the Wild going into this month. It's kind of interesting to see Marcus Granlund. I'm seeing Mikhail Backlund. That's insanely confusing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Mikhail Granlund, Backlund, Marcus Granlund. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. Granlund getting 2 assists in the game. Just a fun night indeed. 2 goals for that top line. Just a strong night. Kuemper was above average. Not as good as he had been at times, but an above average game. Felt pretty good. Got several days off going into Dallas. It's Mike Modano night. That's a hint where we're headed much later in the show. In fact, near the end usually. This will be a typical 2-segment show, game reviews, and of course the Mike Modano Award and the James Shepard Memorial, and then of course second segment the previews, and on to actually 3-segment show, the previews, and then of course the North Star Memory and Iowa Wild checkup. Yeah, you get the idea, but I like to let you guys know what's going on. So we head into Dallas several days later, March the 8th, my brother's 36th birthday already. Good God, we're getting old. Saturday, March the 8th, Minnesota Wild headed to Dallas, and it's like the Wild lose in Dallas all the time. In fact, before last year when the Wild actually finally beat Dallas in Dallas, the last time before that was in Reunion Arena back in 2001. Yeah, 2001 before September the 11th. That was the last time the Wild had won in Dallas, and they're a Western Conference team, so you play them like 4 times a year. Not nowadays, 5 times a year because of the new format, the new division and all that good stuff, new scheduling format. Boy, and Dallas has some nice young stars coming up. It was kind of cool, in fact, quite cool to watch Mike Modano's number get retired, finally. It kind of took a little while. He's like 43 already. He's been on the league a few years now. But yeah, it was very, very cool to see Modano get his number retired, but it's like, okay, on to the game. I hate the Dallas Stars now. I used to kind of like them before the Wild got here. Actually, I did like them before the Wild got here. Kind of like, well, I got to cheer for somebody, and figure I'd cheer for them. Calgary sucked. Dallas was doing good. It was fun watching Modano and all those guys out there. He's, of course, the last remaining North Star to play in the NHL. He was the very last North Star to ever play in the league, and it's been a while already, so it tells you how long ago that was. But yeah, a disappointing game indeed for the Wild in the end. Lindy Ruff has this team going in the right direction now, as the Stars would be in the postseason as of today. Just totally different. I mean, the Stars haven't been in the playoffs in over 5 years, so pretty crazy. Eric Haula showing what quickness he can have, though, in this game, scoring a shorthanded goal. I mean, yeah, they talked about his speed, but to really witness it, to really actually witness it, it's something to see. I mean, he's got to be the fastest player on the Wild. He has explosive speed. He has Wes Wall's speed. Scored his 3rd goal of the year, assisted by Mikko Koivu. Yes, Mikko Koivu back in the lineup. Danny Heatley moved on to the 4th line, as I kind of had a feeling might be the way things were going to head. Coyle, a winger, on the 2nd line with Koivu, and the newly acquired Matt Moulson. I'll talk about the trades right now, might as well, because it's obviously a major news thing. Wild acquiring Ilya Bryzgalov. Before we even get to the other one, we acquired Bryzgalov from the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, okay, not too bad for a 4th-round pick. Not too bad. He's all right, nice backup, and of course, there's a surefire sign that the other 2 goalies, the guys that were the main goalies last season and years before, yeah, not going to be available the rest of the year. No more Backstrom, and most likely, no more Josh Harding. MS just kind of taking its toll on the guy after having an insane, unbelievable year. In fact, he would have probably been the best goalie in the league if he kept anything near the pace he was playing. But, yep, he's done. So, Ilya Bryzgalov, acquired from the Edmonton Oilers. He does play against the St. Louis Blues later on. We'll get to that game shortly. And then the Wild later acquire Matt Moulson, who actually was available in this game. This was his first game with the Wild. Matt Moulson, yes, a very familiar name with the New York Islanders for many years. Wound up going to the Buffalo Sabres for Thomas Vanek, of all people, who... This is kind of a web going on. There's kind of a web going on here with Moulson and Vanek and the Wild. And I kind of think that web is going to continue. And the Buffalo Sabres, too. And the New York Islanders. It just gets weirder and weirder. I mean, it just gets weird, this whole thing. I mean, it's weirding me out in a way, but in a fun way, too. But yeah, Matt Moulson comes to the Wild. Nice little start. It looked like he scored the goal, but actually Charlie Coyle tipped it in for a power play, putting the Wild up tying the game at the time. That was a nice feeling after Jamie Benn and Alex Chiasson scoring goals earlier along the way. It was a 1-0 Dallas lead, tie game, 2-1 Dallas lead, tie game now here. And then Kyle Brodziak, early in the 3rd period, puts the Wild up his 6th goal of the year from Nino Niederreiter. Nice seeing the 3rd line being a part of things again, as they have been a bit here along the way. And, well, the 2 teams grinded out for a while, and Eric Cole starts kind of going to work. Yeah, he sets up Tyler Seguin on a power play. It looked like the Wild had this power play shut down. We were all excited. Oh, yeah, we got them. Oh, come on, we can do it. But then Seguin gets it. But, oh, by the way, let's just tell them how they got to this power play, because it was a 5-minute major. Eric Haula went on the break. speed up the yin-yang. And then the defenseman basically, well, forced Haula forward. He couldn't really change direction or stop, and he went right into Kari Lehtinen, who apparently has sustained a neck injury. That couldn't have been good. He was laying on the ice kind of in pain and holding his neck like that for quite a while there. And he was immediately ejected for game misconduct. Later on, they talked about saying, well, the defenseman actually forced him into Lehtinen. But, oh, guess what? Too bad. The Wild still screwed with a 5-minute power play. And they had just about stopped this thing. It was down to mere seconds. Tyler Seguin, the leading scorer of the Dallas Stars, finishes a goal. Finishes off a play. Off a play from Eric Cole and Sergei Gonchar. Tie game, Stars and Wild. And didn't you know things were going to snowball from here? And they sure did. They sure did. Keith Ballard, we're making one of the worst, making a Christian Ponder-like pass. Trying to get it back to Stoner. This was Clayton Stoner. And it was quickly intercepted by a guy who's not the fastest dude in the world, and I could tell they were teasing him about it at the end of the game. Eric Cole, 15th goal of the year, 36-year-old Eric Cole finishes it, 15th goal of the year, and a surefire winner for a certain award as we come back is Keith Ballard. And the Wild weren't able to score again after that. This was a little under 5 minutes to go in the game. Devastating. Just devastating the way this thing changed pace. Everything just went down the toilet after that Haula goal, because this was, just exactly 4 minutes after Seguin tied the game up. Just absolute frustration. That game had me seething. Just seething. It's just the lack of clutch play, just dumb mistakes, inability to score when necessary, and a lot of bad luck, too, because, well, that penalty probably never should have happened, because the defenseman did force Eric Haula into the goalie. He did, and the NHL admitted it later, but, well, what's done is done, and guess what? Guess who didn't get the point? The Wild did not get a point against a team that's extremely close to them in the standings. You think? Yeah, they're pretty close to the Wild in the standings. Just love when computers just sit there spinning. That's really good quality computer here. Pile of caca. So we're going to do what we can to move on here as best possible. This Dallas game, though, I mean, it just started a chain of events here for the Wild that sent them down into this utter frustration. This BS, basically, is what I like to call it. It's BS. It's BS. So Sunday, March 9th, back-to-back, you think, okay, yeah, sure, they're going to go from Dallas, losing in Dallas, to, they're going to go from losing in Dallas, yeah, right, to defeating the St. Louis Blues, probably the best team in the league right now. And I do think they will win the West, and I do think they will lose to the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals. I got a sneaky feeling. I'm going to be right this time, guys. I got a sneaky feeling, but I think the Blues win the West this year. Finally going back to the finals for the first time since the late 60s, early 70s. Anyhow, TJ Oshie. Haven't we heard enough about him? That awesome shootout goal he got against the Russians. TJ Oshie's the greatest shootout guy ever. Yeah, we're happy for him. I know, we get it. I'm tired of hearing about TJ Oshie. Get back to me when he signs at the Wild. I don't want to hear about TJ Oshie right now. I mean, I consider him an enemy, St. Louis Blues, I hate that team. Yeah, they're good, but I still hate them. And I've hated them for many years, back into the North Star days. Do you blame me? Well, screw you if you blame me. Stuff it, mate, as they like to say in Australia. TJ Oshie scoring on the power play very early in this game on Brizgalov. And Brizgalov looking like a softie very early in this one, only 5 minutes later. Carlo, whoever this guy is, never heard of him, scoring his first goal of the year. Yeah, that is a different name. And I remember it at the time, but obviously it's been like a week, so forgive me if I'm not like totally sharp on his name. But I mean, whatever. Brizgalov, I was just kind of rolling my eyes. It was basically like, well, just shoot high on Brizgalov because he doesn't stop anything, like raised off the ice. Pissed me off. But then he kind of slammed the door the rest of the way, which was pretty nice. Pominville and Matt Moulson tying the game up later on. Pominville, just a beauty. Really nice, incredible chemistry between Parisi and Pominville over the next several games here. really for the last several games, I should say, because you basically were like Granlund, Pominville, Granlund, Parise, Granlund, Pominville, Granlund, going along with one of them. But really, Parise and Pominville have been doing fantastic, leading the team in goals, but now they're also racking up the assists to each other as well of late. A lot of Pominville receiving from Parise, but hey, Parise's been receiving from Pominville too. Let's get credit where it's due. So that was nice, and mere 4 minutes later, the Wild tie it up. This is the last time you're going to hear Matt Moulson in the scoring column for a while, and complete non-factor in the shootouts as well, which don't have me happy at all. At all. 18th goal of the year, nice little tip-in from Koivu. Just finished the shot. Koivu's kind of putting the puck near the net, and Moulson directing it in. Really like that one. 18th of the year. There it is. Matt Moulson, 2 points in 2 games. Can't beat that. Here we go. Matt Moulson, definitely a factor. He's going to really make the scoring of this team really pick up the pace as we head into a potential playoff run. Yeah, not just making the playoffs, playoff chase, and all that good stuff, but this team's going to make a playoff run once they get there. Well, not so fast. Not so fast. Well, the Wild do force overtime with the Blues. Brizgalov, very solid the rest of the way. But that Elliott of St. Louis, when I saw him in net and not Ryan Miller, because I think the Wild could beat Ryan Miller, he is overrated, man. I mean, yeah, he's been good, but I haven't liked him this year. He hasn't been that good this year. I shouldn't even dare I even say he's overrated. Maybe I shouldn't, but he hasn't been playing well this year, and I got to think the Wild would have had a nice chance to win this game. I honestly think Elliott is underrated because he seems like he's always in net when the Wild play the Blues, and he's always slamming the door on us. And yes, the Blues players are pretty good defensively as well. Their defensive system and all that good stuff, and yeah, they can score a little bit too. When we went to shootout, I knew we were effed. Just effed. Pardon my French. Because Brizgalov, yeah, he'd been good along the way, but I don't like. Just thinking of him in the shootout did not make me excited at all. And the way Elliott was just moving everywhere he needed to be. The glove was everywhere it needed to be. The legs were everywhere. The stick. That stop he made on Mikhail Granlund had me throwing up. I was so pissed. The way he was able to stop Mikhail Granlund late in that third period, just flinging his stick. And he was able to clog Granlund and stop the puck and Granlund's stick. I just was irate. I mean, that looked like that had goal written all over it. So you're telling me the Wild are going to win the shootout? No, they didn't win the shootout. TJ Oshie, greatest shootout player ever. We're happy for him. 8 of 10 this year. 8 of 10. It were 8 of 11. It was 7 of 10 going in. It was 8 of 11. Just right past Brizgalov like nothing. Oh, I was so happy. I was just dancing with joy. And the next one ran right past Brizgalov as well. Koivu very slow, Parise very slow, and Pominville slow. None of them scored in their opportunities. And, well, Brizgalov didn't have to make a third save because the Blues had won the game once no one could score for the Wild. It was quite upsetting. Just, pardon me. Quite an upsetting situation. Both of them came in too slow and just waited too long to put a shot on net, being Parise and Koivu. That was an awful shootout. And again, signs of the times, signs of things to come for the Minnesota Wild. Upcoming. 2 days later, the Wild. Yeah, home game against Edmonton. Like we always like to say, the Wild needed an oil change, and here was a chance to get it. Nice high-quality oil coming into town. At least high quality for a team looking to end their little snide here. Edmonton Oilers. Team with some talent. Some young talent, but some talent. The team in disarray, though. Just doesn't know how to win hockey games whatsoever. You can just walk right all over them. And it looked like the Wild were going to do just that. Early goals along the way. 3-0 Wild in the first period. Top line, getting it done again, accounting for 2 goals yet again. 2 of the goals. And then that fourth line accounting for the second one along the way. Yeah, Holla is just, man, I love it. I'm glad he didn't get suspended, and boy, that would have been they would have been owing him money if they did suspend him because they changed the ruling. But of course, the Wild still lost that game. I'm not too bitter, just not a little bit, not bitter, no. But Parise making it look easy. Granlund and Pominville assisting in that one. That was a nice, nifty, easy-looking power play goal, making the Edmonton goalie look silly. Pominville scoring later on. Parise and Granlund again. Just an awesome start to the game. But hey, guess what, folks? The game wasn't over. Not by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, a minute and a half later, the cute little Edmonton Oilers scored a goal. 3-1 game. We got this. They just that one just got by. Kuemper was just kind of whoops. Kuemper just had a little hiccup. He'll be fine. Second period. See, look at that. We're shutting him down. We're not scoring or anything, but we're shutting him down. We'll be fine. Midway through the third period, David Perrin and Jordan Eberle getting their 24th and 21st goals, respectively, to tie this thing up midway through the third period, within about 4 minutes of each other, literally within about 4 minutes. Great. Good times. The Wild couldn't get anything past the goalie that looked like a sieve very early on. That being Victor Fazil. I can't say his name. I had it earlier and I lost it, but you know who it is. They were scoring on him and early and often, and then nothing. Just nothing. Couldn't get anything past the guy. Went into overtime, multiple opportunities, nothing going. It's like, okay, this is not good. I don't want to go to the shootout again. I really don't. Edmonton not putting not too much resistance on Kuemper along the way. But it's like, okay, well, hopefully at least we'll finish this sucker. Everything will be fine, but it wasn't fine. No. Kuemper got beat in the shootout again. This time, just to tease us, Parise and Koivu with awesome goals in the shootouts. More creative. Parise more creative, quicker, more aggressive scoring, and then Koivu lifting his backhand shot. Not running out of space before taking the shot as well. Lifting that backhand shot. See, now he's scoring again because he got one again tonight. The same way. Lifting that patented backhand shot because, goalies kind of caught on to that. When he went low, it's like, okay, we got it. We know he does the same thing every time. But now, they have to guess a little bit. And he's been scoring on the lifts. But ultimately, Kuemper couldn't get it done again. Just could not get it done. Just beat time and time again in the shootout. Couldn't stop anything. Kuemper has gone from a stone wall in the shootouts to a sieve. He can't stop anything in the shootouts anymore. And it's sickening to watch. Pisses me off. Just pisses me off. One thing, it's like, you could count on. Here we go. We have a goalie that can stop him in the shootouts. And, of course, by the way, be a really good goalie in the regulation as well. Well, so much for that. And Kuemper is a good goalie still. He kept us in the game all night tonight as well. We'll get to that shortly. But couldn't get it done in that Edmonton Oilers game in the shootout. And, of course, giving up those tying goals didn't help either along the way. Nice, quiet little victory for the Wild against the New York Rangers. Really a boring game. A 2-1 victory Thursday, March the 13th. Boring game. Yet the Wild won anyway, which is nice. Oh, imagine that. The first line accounted for the game-winning goal in the third period. Very early in the third period, Parise and Pominville. See, there it is. Pominville hooking up Parise this time, and Granlund, of course, getting the second assist on this one. A beauty again. Usually around the net where they kind of center it to the other one, to the other side of the net and score, and that's what this was as well. Niederreiter finally scoring. He's been pretty quiet. This was early. This was in the first period. Derek Stepan had tied the game up literally in the center point of the game, but overall, not much to say about this game. Just a quiet, boring, grind-it-out type of game. And regardless, this is the whole point here that I'm going to stress. And this is where we're headed, it seems. It doesn't even matter who we acquire in trades. Because the goals just numbers aren't going up regardless who we're acquiring in these trades. Like, everybody's all excited about Matt Moulson now. Oh, boy, he's the best scorer on the team. He'll be better than everybody. Pominville, Parise? I'm also beginning to wonder about Mikko Koivu as well. And I think a lot of you have been wondering for a while. I'll get to that point very shortly. But I'm not going to really say much about the New York game other than I'm happy the Wild won. And Benoit Pouliot over there in New York, I guess good luck to him. Glad he's still hanging on in the league. Other than that, just another huge blemish on Doug Riseborough's record. And that's why he is no longer a GM at all in the National Hockey League. No, he is not. Nice win for the Wild, though, and thank God they did win the game. Just getting frustrated with the lack of goals, and I'm not too impressed with Matt Moulson so far, guys. I'm not too impressed. And I know it's early and all that, but so far, he's certainly not making any type of splash like Jason Pominville was last year, because they went to the same BS last year when we did get Pominville, when we were winning and losing 2-1 games, but who was scoring the goals? Pominville was scoring the goals. That was the thing, is it was everybody else that wasn't scoring, where Moulson's just not doing anything out there to me. I mean, yeah, he'll put up a shot once in a while, but it's not like a great scoring chance. It's just a shot on net. It's okay. He actually made a move, but the goalie stopped it. But it wasn't much of a move. It was easy to defend. That type of situation. I mean, there was some frustrating plays tonight, and we're getting to that right now. Columbus Blue Jackets. Yeah, that team. The Sons of Biscuits come to town, and it was basically a shutout until the last couple seconds of the second period. Boring as hell. Why can't the Wild score on anybody anymore? Why? And why is the Columbus goalie suddenly so good? He's being Sergei Bobrovsky. Now, he's not a bad goalie. His goals against average is 2.5. Not bad. He's okay. But he's not anybody that's should be... I mean, yeah, he's not anybody that just amazes me. Oh, my. Ooh, boy, he is a stud. He's not that great, but he was stopping everything again. Same old story. Yet at the same time, the Wild weren't really getting a lot of great chances. They were just getting him on net. That's kind of what it was. A lot of their quote-unquote great chances would end up going wide or getting shut down at the last second by a Columbus defender, knocking the puck away. Or our players would be mishandling the puck or tripping. Just sloppy. This team is annoying to watch right now. And it didn't surprise me they lost this game, even though it pissed me off. I'm not surprised, I'm just pissed, because it was a sloppy game. I mean, what can I call this episode? From clutch to sloppy? From clutch to sludge? I don't even know. Clutch to crutch? It just is what it is. Now, the Wild aren't necessarily a clutch team anyway. You don't necessarily put the word clutch and Wild in the same sentence, but sometimes, and Kuemper certainly was for a little while there, it was fun to watch in the shootouts. But as we head to this one tonight, and by the way, very beautiful feed by Parise to Pominville. That was the only goal scored by the Wild. Imagine that, the top line scored again, and it happened to be Parise and Pominville hooking each other up. Not Matt Moulson. No, not Matt Moulson at all. Koivu, I'm telling you guys, yeah, at least they wisely put him on the second line. They finally used their brains and didn't just force all the old first line together and screw up the amazing chemistry they have with Granlund, Parise, and Pominville. But strange coincidence, though, that right when Koivu is back on the ice again regularly for the Wild and is the captain of the team, we go into this nosedive. It's kind of quiet in here right now, isn't it? Isn't it quiet? I'm telling you, hey man, you're watching the games. I'm not seeing it from Koivu either. I'm not seeing it from Moulson or Koivu. And there's just something about him that I don't know what it is, but he's not a captain. And I've been saying that for a couple years now. He's not a captain. I don't want him to be the captain anymore. And I know some people out there, like the experts, like the Yodas of hockey even, go as far as to say, we go as far as even the Yodas of hockey, like the Lou Nannies, think that's just hogwash. I don't know. And he has every right to think that. I mean, heck, he played hockey forever and he GM'd hockey forever, but I'm not so sure it's hogwash, though. I mean, and we all have rights to disagree. I mean, this is just one thing. Lou Nanny's forgotten more about hockey than I'll ever know. He's the godfather. Damn it. Just imagine him on this show. That'd be the coolest thing in the world. And, I bet if I just got the balls to contact him somehow, some way, I bet he would come. He seems like he's the kind of guy that would. So maybe someday Lou Nanne joins Brave the Wild. Oh, man. But I'm just saying. You know, I mean, I'm here to give you my opinion. So that's my opinion. Zach Parise should be the captain, without a doubt. Part of me would almost... No, I'm not going to go that far yet. I was going to say it, but yeah, we'll leave that alone. Part of me wants to trade Koivu, but yeah, a big part of me does want to trade him. But it would have to be for the right pieces coming back. Because you are giving up a center, which is very valuable. But then at the same time, you have Haula. You have Haula who could move up to the second or third line. But then it would get kind of hairy after that. So, well, I guess we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. You know, you can't just have Granlund and Haula, because I'm not a fan of Braziak anymore. I think he's just a complete non-factor. So, yeah, I'll just shut up and move on from that lining, from that verbiage, whatever. Really not much to say about this game either. Just a boring-ass game. Boring. Sloppy. Opportunities that just fell apart because the team's sloppy. Mishandling the puck, mishandling opportunities, getting stopped all the time, all that good stuff. So, we head to the shootout, and here we go again. Well, Zach Parise with a nice, awesome move. It's like, this is exactly like the Edmonton one. It really is. Felt so good coming in. Zach Parise, nice. Actually, one of his best shootout goals of the year. In fact, maybe his best. He actually looked really good in this, so this is like a really beauty. And then Darcy Kuemper gets my hopes up and actually stops Cam Atkinson with a nice little last-second drop of the knee to stop a low in the middle type of shot, trying to get it underneath his, trying to get Kuemper underneath. Koivu, backhand shot, lifted it up, but then all of a sudden, here it comes. Anisimov and Letsu got their pucks over, literally made so many moves on Kuemper, he didn't know what to do. They went right around him. Devastating. Just devastating. Made Kuemper look not so good. The second one, Kuemper lost his footing. And that's just how it goes. You gotta, I don't know. Bad luck, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Don't lose your footing at that time, man. Please. I don't even know what to say about that one. Mostly bad luck, but still sloppy off his game there. Pominville, what the hell was he doing on his shootout attempt? What was he doing? I mean, this isn't the Mighty Ducks. You're not Fulton Reed. Why are you stopping and why are you just kind of stopping and shooting from far away? I don't know. And he wasn't that far, but he's further away than I'd want. The goal, he just missed the net, and I got to think the goalie'd be ready for that anyway. It's just, I don't know. I didn't like that one. And, of course, Matt Moulson reminded me of Brian Rolston. Sure, Brian Rolston scored goals, but never when you needed him to. Yeah, he was a 30-goal guy, but never when you needed him to. Never when you needed him to. And Moulson looked slow and lackadaisical on this one, and it pissed me off. And I don't know. Just that just rubbed me wrong a little bit, and that's what I didn't like about Brian Rolston in the past. And then, of course, Ryan Johansson made what looked like too many moves. It just seemed kind of suspicious. It looked like Kuemper had knocked the puck away, and then he recovered it and scored, which would be illegal. If the puck is knocked away, it's not you don't get a second shot attempt. But apparently, Kuemper missed. He actually didn't touch him. It just looked like he did. And the goal counted, and that was it. Wild lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Disgusting loss. Just losing at home to the Blue Jackets. Losing at home to Edmonton. Well, there you go again. Yeah. There you go again. I hate these nosedives. I'm sick of them so much. Oh, so sick of them. And I'm sure the Mike Yeo, Fire Mike Yeo cards are going to be coming out. And the possibility of this hockey club missing the postseason exists and persists. It does, because the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm inherently inherently stuck, whatever the wordage is. I thought I had it, but I lost it. But whatever the wordage is for this are well, wait, they moved to the other conference, didn't they? Those sons of biscuits? No, they didn't. I'm losing my mind here. But the Columbus Blue Jackets are suddenly regardless of what's going on here, the Columbus Blue Jackets are suddenly a much better team. They truly are. They are and they are in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I'm so confused because they were over here for the longest time, but I'm just so used to thinking them as a crappy team, but they actually are a halfway decent team now. So, thank God they're not in our conference. That's all I got to say. It would put the Wilds in a serious jeopardy of missing the playoffs. But the possibility does exist that the Wild could miss the playoffs. It's possible. I mean, if Vancouver and Dallas pass the Wild, there you go. Vancouver's playing like crap. They are. But stranger things have happened. Let's see, the Wild have 80 points. Vancouver has 70. Phoenix is probably the team that could put a scare in us with 73 points. Winnipeg, it's Phoenix. Phoenix is the biggest threat for the Wild, but 7 points behind. Unlikely they'll catch us, but it's possible. And man, I apologize about that Columbus thing there. I'm just so used to them being over here, and obviously, they switched the whole league up. Next thing you know, you'll be hearing me talk about Detroit doing like they're standing in the Western Conference when they're not in the West anymore either. So, yeah, they really screwed me up mentally. It's almost like leave things alone, even though I'm really happy to be back in the Central/Norris wink wink division. It is the Norris division, damn it. It is. Yes, and Dallas is like the new arch rival. Yeah, they're only 5 games behind the Wild, so Wild would have to move down to the quote-unquote 8th seed if that were to take place. That'd be quite a bummer. So let's just wrap up this. Let's wrap up the reviews. Let's get the awards out of the way. Well, Mike Modano Award is going to be a tie. It's going to be a tie. Zach Parise and Jason Pominville. Unbelievable chemistry. They've been carrying this team the past week and a half. Unbelievable chemistry. Crazy good chemistry by those two. So there's your tie right there. James Shepard Award. Keith Ballard stinks. And I hate saying that. He's from Minnesota, former Gopher, national champion. But for the most part, he has stunk this whole year. It seems like he's always like the quintessential pick for the James Shepard Award, and he's getting it again. That Christian Ponder type play really, really pissed me off, and it's not helped the Wild at all. It would have been really nice to win that game in Dallas. Maybe even get a point out of it. Woohoo! Another shootout loss or overtime loss, whatever it would have been. But maybe we would have won. Maybe, and maybe our fortunes would have been quite different this coming week. Probably wouldn't have lost to Edmonton. I got to think our confidence would have been a little bit better, but I don't even know. What the hell? I mean, I guess the Edmonton game was going to happen because, as Zach Parise said, they just got cocky, which was stupid. Flat out stupid. The Wild are in no position to get cocky at all. They're barely in the playoffs. Stop screwing around, please. Please stop screwing around. I don't care how bad Edmonton is. I don't care how bad the Islanders are. And I don't give a damn how good the St. Louis Blues are. Go out there and beat somebody. With that, we will wrap up this segment and on to the previews.
Shop on Amazon. Did you know that you can support this podcast just by doing your normal shopping on Amazon? It's really easy to do. Just go to thesportstuff.com and click on one of the many Amazon pictures. Do your normal shopping, and Amazon sees that we referred you, and they give us a percentage. We'd like to thank you in advance for supporting thesportstuff.com, and please use our Amazon link. Now enjoy the rest of the show.
We are going round like Saturn.
Too busy to sit in front of a computer? Simply download Brave the Wild on iTunes for Apple devices. For Android, download the Double Twist app. And for Windows and BlackBerry phones, simply find us in the store. And now, back to Paladino Joey. And we are back here on Brave the Wild. It's the preview segment. Wahoo! Let's talk some hockey. Well, oh goody. The Minnesota Wild on March 17th. They celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, against the Eastern Conference champion, soon to be Stanley Cup champion again, Boston Bruins. Yes, they will win it. Yes. The Wild are heading east again. It should be a good thing that the Wild are heading east, but maybe not to Boston. The next couple, hopefully, will be a positive for the Minnesota Wild, and they, gosh dang blankety blank, better be. But with that said, the Minnesota Wild heading into Boston spells L-O-S-S. I don't like the way the Wild are playing right now. Boston Bruins are 45-17. They are hit legit. I mean, they are the bomb. One of the best teams in hockey. St. Louis, Chicago, Boston, and Anaheim. That's about as good as it gets. I mean, yeah. The way the Wild are playing right now, they can't even score. Why would I pick them to win this game? No way. Tuukka Rask got 6 shutouts. He might as well get his next shutout here. 2.1 goals against average. Just stud. Oh, boy. I mean, the Bruins have 6 players with over 40 points already this year, and then 3 more with over 30. Oh, boy. That's 3 lines. 3 lines right there. Well, no, they're not 3 lines because some of them are defensemen, but you get the idea. I mean, that's crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. I mean, you got at least 2 lines with guys with over 40 points this year, just destroying the league right now. And they're not necessarily they're not all necessarily leading the league in scoring, but they're scoring. They are scoring. And Jarome Iginla, a member of the Boston Bruins, that sucks. I don't like the Bruins anymore because Iginla's there. God. But he's having a nice resurgence this year in Boston, Massachusetts, because he's not on the Flames anymore. And I kind of like the Flames. Even though they were a division rival, I've always kind of liked that team. But never liked Iginla because he was always like a bully for the Wild, always scoring the game-winning goal against the Wild. Iginla having his best year since, a minimum 2011, 2012, but that wasn't that long ago, was it? But he's definitely going to surpass that year. He's at 67 points that year, so I got to think he's going to well surpass that. Maybe back in the 80s again, which he had a few years before that. So nice resurgence for him, just like Jaromir Jagr last year, who we're going to be talking about him too very soon. I don't think the Wild can beat this high-scoring, well-goaltended, well-coached, good defense, everything. Good defense, good playmakers. You got Chara, you got Louis Eriksson, all these players. My goodness. I mean, Milan Lucic. You got Patrice Bergeron. I mean, my God, it just goes on. And David Krejci. It's just unbelievable. David Krejci, pardon me. Just tearing up the league right now. Well, not quite that much, but yeah, he's got 40 assists. Pretty damn good numbers for him. Nice defensive player as well. It's just an overall great hockey team. I can't see the Wild winning. I'll have the Boston Bruins winning 4-2 in this one. 4-2, yeah. That's a lot of goals given up, but I don't know. Kuemper had a really nice night tonight for the Wild, by the way. But I won't be too surprised if he's not in net the following night. We'll see. Maybe they'll put him in. I don't know. It's like whatever. Let's go talk to the New Jersey Devils, a team that the Wild could and should beat. Well, they have Jaromir Jagr, and that's about it for the most part. Patrick Elias is still there, but whatever, right? Patrick Elias, he's pretty good. He's just old and not really a big-time scorer for them. Jagr with an amazing 58 points, and he's like 42 now. It's just unbelievable considering that guy just continues to get it done. And Elias actually is doing better than I expected. Zidlicki's doing well there as well. 36 points for Zidlicki. Of course, former Wild defenseman. But really as you keep going down and down, very quickly the numbers drop significantly. Not really a very good overall team. Martin Brodeur at one point rumored to be traded to the Minnesota Wild. And Schneider, well, I'm not sure which one of them is going to be in net. Brodeur actually has a winning record this year, despite the fact they're not a very good team. Goals against average this year, solid. Not quite as good as he was before. 2.5. Schneider, he's actually doing a bit better. But he's not winning games, so go figure there. I think the Wild will win that one. And if they don't, boy, oh boy, maybe it might be time to say, Mike, get out of town. 3-2 win for the Minnesota Wild via shootout, via regulation, via overtime, but a 3-2 win for the Minnesota Wild. In this one, trying to get this thing to load, it has been really, really a struggle here. So I do apologize for that. But no, I mean, when the Wild head out east, you gotta hope that they're gonna win the game. And I think I actually may have put these. Let's see. I was gonna say I think I may have put these out of order, but regardless, I think the Wild will win the New Jersey game with a 3-2 record. This thing is just ape right now, and I do apologize to those of you. And the Islanders were on Tuesday, March 18th. Thursday, March 20th, Wild will beat New Jersey, in my opinion. So, same review. Wild head to New York Islanders. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So, I gotta hope the Wild will win this one. I really gotta hope that they can get it done. But they didn't win. They didn't beat them earlier this year, though, which is really concerning. But at the same time, hopefully means the Wild will be awake this time. They will be awake. They will watch endless video of the New York Islanders. Fascinating stuff, I'm sure, but it is what it is. The Wild and Islanders. Remember how the Wild... that was kind of similar to the Edmonton game. The Wild were kicking the Islanders' butts, and they wound up losing 5-4 in that game. Just an absolute joke. Just a joke. 5-4 loss. That was back on December the 29th. Absolute joke for the Wild. We gave up 5 goals against the Islanders, man. And again, another one of those teams, just like Edmonton, with a lot of young scorers, but they don't win. They don't win games, plain and simple. So it's like, whatever. I think the Wild should come in with a little hope of some type of vengeance, some type of pride in this game. I am going to go with the Wild winning this one. Yeah, I mean, they have to. I'm gonna go with a 4-2 win for the Wild. So the Wild will be like Boston this time around. Again, watch them lose. Because, there's some scorers in this team. Obviously, Kyle Oposo, John Tavares, who actually is out for the year, so I can't even continue on him. ACL in the Olympics. God rest his season. Thomas Vanek no longer there. Traded to Montreal. So, no reason I got to think New York's going to win this game. I mean, that was the one thing they had going through them was the scores. So, who knows? Maybe some of the third liners will come out and beat the Wild. That would figure. But no, 4-2 victory for the Wild in this one. Darcy Kuemper in net, maybe Brizgalov. Who knows? Who cares? I'll pick a win. It's like, who knows? Who cares? No, I mean, Brizgalov, I think, would be solid in net in either one of these games anyway. The final game of the week, Saturday, the 22nd. That's right, the 22nd, against the Detroit Red Wings. They come to St. Paul, Minnesota. Oh my, and there's a back-to-back. This is insane. Oh, yeah, back-to-back with Detroit. St. Paul and Detroit. So we start with a game against the Detroit Red Wings. I think the Wild will have a 3-game win streak here, actually. Because I think the Wild will beat the Detroit Red Wings at home. I think the Wild take care of business against that team. At home. Yeah, at home. So we'll all kind of preview the 2 games at once here. This is actually turning out to be a longer show. Had a lot of energy coming into this one, obviously just finishing the Columbus game. And, of course, a lot to catch up on over the past week. So hope the show isn't too long for you out there. This one might clear an hour, which is kind of rare for this show, actually. Detroit, it's kind of almost like who's left there. That's almost what you want to wonder. But really, regardless, I think the Wild defeat Detroit at home, and I think we lose to Detroit on the road. I think this is going to be a split. That's going to kind of be the gist of things. I don't really see the Wild winning a back-to-back against Detroit. I really believe and hope they don't lose the home-and-home. Henrik Zetterberg leading the way. After that, you got Cronwall, who's an excellent defenseman, 40 points. Daniel Alfredsson still playing. He's in his 40s. Franzen's there. Yeah, but, it's like they're not scoring like they were before in Detroit. And, of course, they've had injuries as well. So, yeah, it's been a struggle for them this year. They're not really the same team we saw in the past. It's definitely been a struggle. Zetterberg is out, by the way, so that's another one. Yeah, look at all these injuries. Just look at him. It's unbelievable. Zetterberg, injury reserve with a back injury. February 14th. It's a lot. This Datsyuk is day-to-day with a knee. It's just been going on and on and on for a while. Boy, they've had injuries. Gustafsson. Yeah, Samuelson, injured reserve with a shoulder. Whew, man, yeah, it's all over the place. So, yeah. Maybe the Wild can start winning some games here, but I kind of don't think they're going to win back-to-back, though. I'd like to believe they could. The Wild actually right now, on paper, are a better team than Detroit, and they're actually ahead of them in, the overall standings, like points-wise and win-loss records. So I can't pick the Wild to win 4 games in a row. That'd be insane. So I'll have this be a split one way or another. I think the Wild win at home and lose on the road. Maybe it'll be the other way around, but either way, I think this will be a split. Something like 3-2 each way. 3-1, 3-2, whatever. So it doesn't really matter what the scores are. This isn't a point spread. So there it is. It's going to be a 2-2 week for the Wild. What am I talking about? This is 5 games, wasn't it? Boy, it's a busy week. Yeah, very busy week. 5 games for the Wild. Very, very, very crammed schedule. It's going to be fun to watch, though. Yeah, you got Boston, the Islanders, New Jersey, and 2 at Detroit. So a 3-2 week for the Wild. Hopefully getting slightly back on track. I hope we sweep Detroit. That would be fantastic. With all those injuries, maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Detroit in their last 10, they've been 5-4. So, but Boston is just literally streaking right through the NHL right now. Wild aren't going to win that game. So I'll shut up now, and we will come back with a pretty obvious North Star memory, who it's going to be, and a very, very, very brief checkup on the Iowa Wild. Contact us and support Brave the Wild by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter. Don't forget to call into our phone lines at 209-736-7877. That's 209-736-7877. And we are back here on Brave the Wild. Final segment for this week of episode number, I'll say the number, 81. Episode number 81. I just like that number for some strange reason. I don't know. It's just a cool number. It brings you back in the day, I suppose, when I was, like, really tiny. Yeah, really tiny. Probably can't really remember anything from that year. North Star's memory, who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? It's the guy with his name on the weekly awards for the Minnesota Wild, the former North Star, Mike Modano. Yep, his number was retired in Dallas a few years after he unfortunately left Dallas and played for his hometown Detroit Red Wings in an injury-riddled 40-game season in 2010-2011 at age 40. The Mike Modano retired, only 15 points that year. I still remember his last game in Minneapolis, I keep calling it Minneapolis, but it's St. Paul, pardon me. St. Paul, and after that game he wore that North Star jersey, and it was quite an emotional sight indeed. Quite emotional. He was 39. They put on the old N Star, white jersey with the white and green, of course. Oh man, with the number 9 and the word Mike and the word Modano on it. It was a beautiful thing. So without a doubt, the man who could skate so quickly, his jersey would flap. The man who was a hero of the wonderful, awesome playoff run for the Minnesota North Stars. Oh my! 23 years ago, this May and June, April, May, June. My. 23 years ago. For those of us that remember it, for those of us that experienced it, Mike Modano gave us a lot of hope that this franchise had a very, 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 very bright future. And boy, one thing I never understood is how this guy, he just could never have that massive breakout season. He'd always have really good years, but he never blew up. Never blew up, did he? He never had a 100-point season. He just wasn't that guy. A lot of rumors about that not rumors, a lot of tells were on Mike Modano, where there's a reason his jersey flat, because he was kind of a straight line skater more of than he didn't really put on a lot of moves. He didn't kind of move around as much as some other guys do, and that may have slowed his scoring a little bit. He did have what appeared to be a breakout season. Now, of course, his last year with the North Stars was a 93-point season, 60 assists that year, just sick. But the actual year you could have kind of called a breakout season was his first year in Dallas when he had 50 goals. 50 goals. His assists suffered a bit, went down to 43, and he had another 93-point season and never, ever, ever eclipsed that number. Now, I'm not here to rip on Mike Modano and give him his faults. Ultimately, we're here to celebrate him and his career with the Minnesota North Stars and, of course, Dallas Stars for many, many eons. And, 40-game little injury-riddled third-line type of season with the Detroit Red Wings, fourth line, whatever it was. God rest his career. It was the jersey flap, his ability to score. It's just, the one complaint was, just never had that massive breakout season. But he did manage to become the all-time leading scorer by a wide margin of the Dallas Stars, and actually the number one leading scorer all-time for an American-born player. Excellent career, excellent numbers, and a likable guy. He wasn't the kind of guy you looked at as, he's unapproachable. Oof, Modano, oh God, he wasn't one of those type of guys. He wasn't out there looking for a fight all the time. He wasn't out there agitating people all the time. Sidney Crosby is an agitating little bitch. He is. Let's just tell the truth. And there's a guy with like 120-point seasons. Talk about elite. Now that's a number one overall pick. See, Modano, to me, you look at his numbers, he's like a top 5 pick, not a number one overall pick. But, the years that he was here early on, it looked like he was that guy. So, ultimately, pardon me, he didn't really hurt us at all. He just went to Dallas and performed well and stuck with that organization until 2010. It's just unbelievable how long he stayed in that organization. It's just crazy to think, what was the point of coming back with the Detroit Red Wings other than, I guess, playing at home one last year? Whatever. That was the disappointing part. Some of us are hoping if you're going to leave that organization, come to Minnesota. Not sure what really happened there. Maybe Chuck Fletcher wasn't going to make a move on him and wouldn't have surprised me because he was so damn old. And obviously, that was the other thing about Modano. He was a little bit injury prone too. He was. So that was the other kind of, like, you could call it a semi-complaint as well. He had some 50-game seasons in there, 59 games, 60 games. But for the most part, he was pretty healthy. He wasn't like some guys out there who are never healthy. So give him credit. Great player. And his overall explosiveness is why I'm very proud to give him the Mike Modano to call the Player of the Week the Mike Modano Award, and it brings back fond memories to those of us that remember the North Stars, and I like the North Stars to be a part of Brave the Wild, without a doubt. And there it is. That's how the North Stars become a part of Brave the Wild. On to the Iowa Wild. The future North Stars, the future Mike Modano, North Stars, you know what I mean? Mike Modano Award winners. Zach Phillips, the new guy we got from Chicago, the Chicago system, Brad Winchester, still leading them in scoring with 32 points in 61 games. Zach Phillips and Jonathan Blum are otherwise leading the way for the Minnesota Wild. Now, Brian Connolly was actually the leading scorer as a defenseman. Shows that this team is not really much for scoring. And nobody's really been scoring the past week. They're not playing very well down there in Iowa. None of the major prospects like a Ballmer. Well, I don't really even call him a major prospect anymore. Rafael Bruceres. It's nice to see Phillips emerging though, because for the longest time he was one of those kind of like he had like third liner type numbers down there. It was getting kind of frustrating. But yeah, his numbers have been picking up a bit, but still. Seems like he's like another year or two away from the NHL if he's going to get there, which he better hurry up and get there as a first-round pick. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. This is his second year with the AHL club. So that's kind of the theme there with the Iowa Wild is Zach Phillips. It's pretty much turning into Zach Phillips watch because a lot of the other guys just aren't really standing out at all, unfortunately. The goaltender down there, which of course was Darcy Kuemper for the longest time, has been Gustafsson. And he's been adequate, not great, just adequate. So it's like, what can you do? There's a reason why they don't say that. They don't want him They don't want him up here. He is younger than Kuemper by a couple of years as well. So that's another way to look at it. I wouldn't even say he's been adequate. His goals against average is 3. That's not that good. I'm not too impressed. Save percentage a little over 90. That's not that great either. It's just average. So, I don't know. Cross your fingers. It's just a lot of guys not doing so hot down there right now. So, that's pretty much the theme at this point in time. Jason Zucker, in very limited time down there because he's been on the Wild and getting scratched. He's been busy getting scratched with the Wild most of the time. Guys like Tyler Kuemper, well, at least he's been healthy most of the year, but only 6 points. That's it. Yuck. In 40 games. So, yeah, that's kind of the theme of the Iowa Wild right now. A lot of guys not doing so hot. So with that, we'll wrap this thing up and hope that the professional or the NHL club can start playing hot, at least more hot than they have been of late, because they are not doing hot either. And guys like Moulson, please start factoring in the scoring. And Koivu, get some chemistry with him, please build some chemistry with him. I don't know what's going on with Koivu, man. And it was getting really stale with Koivu and Parise out there. It was getting ridiculously stale for a while. That was when the Wild were not doing so hot, and then he got hurt, and bam, we went on a win streak, and then Koivu comes back, and we're back on a losing streak again. Uh-oh, conspiracy theory. Yeah, right. I ain't no conspiracy. Yeah, well, it ain't no theory. It might be a conspiracy, but it ain't no theory. We'll be back next week with hopefully a much more positive show, but certainly there will be a lot of games to review yet again. Likely we'll be recording on Saturday nights, if possible. I like to do that because it seems like Timberwolves Explosion has been recording on Sundays lately. But if Timberwolves Explosion is not recorded on Sunday, and I haven't recorded this yet, it'll get recorded on Sunday. So, yeah, but I figured I'd preview both of those Detroit games because it was a back-to-back deal. All right, thanks again for listening. Tell a friend. Yeah, I don't want to walk out before I mention this. I was going to mention this at the beginning of the segment. Deb Costa posted on the Facebook page. She said, we were hard to watch. We were there, and it was hard to watch. We need a new coach. Yeah, I don't blame anybody that doesn't want Mike Yeo as coach because these nosedives are really frustrating and really hard to take. I think this team has underachieved under him at times. They've overachieved under him at times as well. It seems like the younger the roster, the better he does. The older the roster, it gets interesting in a negative way. So we'll see. We will absolutely see what happens in the next couple weeks and months with Mr. Mike Yeo. Thanks again, Deb. You've been posting on and off at times, and keep posting. Hopefully you are listening right now. Thanks again, and we will be back next week, everybody. Do tell a friend about the show. Sorry about the delay there, by the way, but do tell a friend about the show. I will shout out to you if you give us a nice rating on iTunes. That would be appreciated as well. We'll be back next week.